When should you ask for the sale? Hey, what's up everybody? It's Coach Carroll. Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be talking about when exactly in the sales process or in the sales presentation you should ask for the order, ask for the sale, attempt to make the close, right? And so this is a question that I know is asked a lot by salespeople that are just getting started, or maybe you've been in business a long time, you're like, hey, I need to brush up on my skills. Nevertheless, I'm going to answer the question for you today. It's important to understand that every product, service, or offering or idea, the sales cycle, meaning how long you anticipate to work with the prospect, the sales cycle is really important to understand. That will help you better understand when you need to ask for the sale. I can tell you guys from my own experience, if you're just finding the channel here, I was an entrepreneur my senior year of high school, and I've never looked back. And so I've had the privilege of being able to, sell things that have a very, very short sales cycle, and then projects that have very, very long sales cycles. I'd say probably the longest sales cycle I've ever been involved in was about 3 years. Yep, 3 years. And the shortest one is probably 8-9 minutes. And so these are like bigger contracts, and these are like small like house washes. And so like in my exterior cleaning company, where we do power washing and window cleaning, if I get on the phone with a prospect and I'm talking to them about a house wash and it's a $300, $400, $500 decision, normally I can ask for the sale pretty quickly. On a longer sales process, it may not be as easy as that. But here's something where a lot of salespeople mess up, and if you're listening to this, write this down. Sales is like a pressure cooker. And so you can't just crank it up. You have to let it slowly build. And so what I train my team members and people that I'm coaching, I tell them, listen, you can always ask for the close. It's never too early to ask for the close, right? Someone calls, I get a message from my assistant that says, hey, Jim Smith, interested in a house wash. I can call Jim Smith back and say, hey, Jim, how's it going? Good. Hey, man, I know you're interested in having your house washed. We got a special this month. It's $497. I can get you on the schedule tomorrow. Does that sound good? That's less than a minute. But also, say like in my ad tech company where we sell, systems and software that my team builds on social media. My sales guys and account executives, they have to understand that it's a longer process. You can still ask for the sale, but how much pressure or emphasis is behind that ask is really what you need to understand. And so when you're talking to somebody and you're in the very beginning stages of the sales process and we're moving them along and we're over here and we're in the discovery call where we're just getting to know them, we're understanding, hey, what is it, what's your needs, what's your challenges, what's the possible opportunity. And I have another video here, I can maybe link it up in the descriptions or something, but it's SOSC, it's a sales process video that shows you exactly how to figure out what the struggle is, what the opportunity is, how to provide your solution, and then close them. But when it specifically comes for when do I ask for the sale, the sales process, the sales cycle, the amount of time that you expect to spend with the client is super important for you to understand. I can't tell you how many times I talk to someone and they don't understand their own sales cycles. They're like, well, DJ, everybody's got to just buy from you on a one-call close. I'm like, no, you bozo. That doesn't work. Maybe you've had that happen, right? Maybe somebody's called you. They're like trying to sell you advertising or something over the phone, and it's like, well, you got to make a decision today, Bill, or I'm going to call your competitors. Those are unprofessional salespeople, right? Those aren't professional closers, which is what you want to be. That's why you're watching this video. And so if you're liking this, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment down below. But in the sales process and along through the sales cycle, right? So sales process is what steps we're going to do. Sales cycle is how long we're going to be dealing with this customer. It really just depends on your business. Like in my power washing company, if they don't buy after the first call, physically being on a personal conversation phone call with them, if they don't buy, we don't ever call them back because the dollar amount is not big enough. I had a guy tell me one time, he says, the juice has to be worth the squeeze. And that one I was like, right? The juice has to be worth the squeeze. So you gotta judge your time management and say, how much time am I going to spend on this prospect before I have to move on to something bigger, right? So like if you're telling me this is a $100,000 account, by all means, follow up for 3 years like I had to do when I closed it. But if you're telling me it's a $300 job, let's use technology. And you can check out, I've got some other videos here on the channel about follow-up. You can check those out as well. I'll link them maybe here in the video somewhere or down in the description. But understanding when to ask for the close, when to ask for the sale, is when the biggest telltale sign is when your buyer starts asking buying questions, right? What sizes does it come in? When's your next availability? Could you get it for me in green? If I buy 2, is there a discount? Like when they start asking you these questions that you can go, wait a minute, they're putting themselves in the position of already owning this product, service, or offering. That's a buying question. Maybe I should just answer yes and do a trial close. Here's an example. DJ, if I bought 2 of these, could you give me a discount? Absolutely, Mr. Johnson. I could give you 5% off if you got 2. Would you like me to go ahead and plug that order in for you now? I just need a credit card to get it processed. Right? You have to know how to close. I was on the phone with a client for Jared. He's one of our account executives. I was on the phone with a client that he passed over to me the other day. He's like, man, I think you can get this guy closed. I'm having a hard time. Keeps asking a bunch of questions. Sometimes you just like got to get in there and just battle. Like you got to punch and jab and take your shots until it just wears the customer down. That's what happened. I had a 20-minute phone call just answering questions. And then finally he goes, all right, well, what's the next step? I said, well, Bob, you give me your credit card number and we get you locked in, buddy. And he's like, okay, you ready? So, but I think really, if you're watching this video, you're not so much needing help when to ask for it. I bet that you're probably not asking at all, which is most salespeople do. They never ask for the order. They do the presentation and then they get to this like cliffhanger spot where the customer's like, well, all right, let me think about it and I'll let you know. Come on. Jim, do you really need to think about it or man, could I give you a friendly urge just let's go ahead and do this today? Look, Mr. Johnson, do you really need to think about it or can I just go ahead and pencil in for next Thursday? You guys aren't doing that. And where that comes from is a core belief. You don't believe in what you sell. You don't believe in what you sell. In your mind, you're going, okay, I'm going to let him think about it because maybe he finds somebody better than me. You guys have to be alive and excited about what you're selling to people. If you're going to try to close them on your product, service, or offering, you got to be excited and you got to know they're not going to find a better. Mr. Johnson, what's there to think about? Didn't I answer all your questions? Oh, yeah. I just need a little more time. So it's that pressure. And now, if it's that longer sales cycle, if it's a $2,000, $3,000 job, like, okay, think about it, Mr. Johnson. What's the specific next step? Could I call you next Tuesday at 2 o'clock p.m.? to follow up with you and get your final decision. See, it's the framing that you put your customers in is really the challenge, and it's a lot easier to close if you have a methodical steps, methodical approach in certain steps that you'll take to get your customer there, right? Like in chess, right? They say no 3 steps ahead or 3 moves ahead. It's the same thing in sales. So if I'm talking to Mr. Johnson, I need to know that Mr. Johnson may need me to get him set up. So when he's asking questions about a house wash, for instance, and I know I keep using these same scenarios, but those are my businesses. I'm a real business owner. That's why I'm giving you this information. I don't just make this shit up. So I'm giving you guys experience points, but like I would tell him, I'd say, hey, what do you got going on? Oh, I got some mold mildew and algae on the siding. Great. Awesome, man. We clean hundreds of homes every year. And so do you see what I did there? We clean hundreds of homes. He doesn't know that unless I tell him. We clean hundreds of homes every year, so it's not a problem. We get that mold mildew and algae off there. Have you ever had your house professionally cleaned before? Well, no, I haven't, DJ. Fantastic. Well, I will tell you, Mr. Johnson, we're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, so you make sure that you're working with a reputable company. Your first experience with a professional is going to be the best experience you ever have. See, I'm future pacing and saying, this is what's going to happen, man. Like, we clean hundreds of homes. Your experience is going to be the best. Like, I'm already starting to walk him down that hallway to open that door to close the deal. So I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this. What's your favorite part? Leave a comment down below. And then also, if I can help you with anything, if you have questions or video ideas, make sure to leave those in the comments below as well. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks so much. I'm Coach Carroll. Hustle, it's worth it.